Good morning. My name is Peter Murphy and I am a business owner in the state of Massachusetts. The question is often asked, who's Mitt Romney and really what's he like? I met Mitt Romney for the first time 9 years ago when I was doing a brand new building in Raynham, Massachusetts. And I called the governor's office and I asked if he would come out for a groundbreaking. And to my surprise, 3 days later, I got a call saying he would. I told my employees and my friends that the governor was coming to our groundbreaking and they all laughed at me. So it was a joke in the office for a couple of weeks, but we proceeded on and lo and behold the governor turned up on that day and he spent an enormous amount of time with my employees and a lot of time with me. And what I learned about the governor at that time was his keen interest in what we were doing as a company. At the time we were a small company, we were a $3 million company with I think about 8 employees. And he wanted to know what we were doing and what kind of business model we had. He asked me about the building. He said, this is an enormous building. Why such a big building? And I said, well, you know, we were looking at expanding and growing. And he laughed at me and he said, some expansion program you got there. Which was kind of funny at the time. I was a little nervous because it was a big project. But I said to him, we intend to grow into it and we intend to take our company and keep pushing it forward. And he had some really kind words of encouragement for me. And what I would say, mentoring words, that helped me over 8 years overcome some of the obstacles that we had while taking our company from 3 million to 95 million and from 8 people to 240 people in a 9-year period. And so I always remember the governor's words from time to time when times were bad, and we need more people like that in this country, people that are positive and that cares about small business and cares about growing the economy and jobs. People say to me, well, you know, the governor, he seems like he's a little stiff. Well, you know, it's hard to portray yourself to everybody on the camera. I'm sitting here on a Saturday morning doing this out of total frustration for our country. And it's not easy to sit in front of a camera and talk. So the governor, from what I saw, was a man that had a good heart, a decent human being, and cares. And that's what we need to know. But what we also need to know is how good is this guy at his job? And to be honest about it, I really don't care about his personality. I care about his credentials. Can he take this economy and turn it around? Like he did at the Olympics, like he's done with many, many companies he has started. He takes Staples from nothing and hired tens of thousands of people. And he's repeated that model over and over again. And so do you say to yourself, if you have an economy like we have in the United States, it's in deep, deep trouble with $16.2 trillion in debt at the end of this year. And something that nobody wants to talk about is the debt and obligations that we have of over $100 trillion, which includes Medicare and Social Security. Nobody talks about that debt. And, you know, 8.2% unemployment. Well, it's not 8.2% unemployment. Those numbers are false. It's more like 16 to 17% unemployment. What I'm not telling you about is the people that have fallen off the system and the people that have just given up totally. We got 25 million people out of work in this country. I was talking to somebody the other day that couldn't pay their mortgages, couldn't pay their cars. You know how sad it is to sit and listen to somebody that's in that kind of trouble that were never ever there before. You know, people can't get jobs. Our economy is in a terrible state. And so we need a professional CEO that can go into Washington and they can go through every line item and cut out the waste. And we have a lot of waste in Washington. We're giving billions of dollars to rogue nations all over the world, and we're getting nothing in return for it. And so we're spending in Washington, our politicians are spinning like drunken sailors. And, you know, here in America, you know, we have to balance our companies every year. We have to balance our books. At home, people have got to balance their budgets every week. But in Washington, they don't have to balance anything. They can just do what they like. They're out of control. And the reason they're out of control is because they have done nothing but spend, spend, spend for the last 30 years. This has been going on for a long time. So we need a CEO to go down there and change the culture of Washington and make our country healthy again. And this country should be run like a business.